It had been years since Haru had returned from her adventure in the Cat Kingdom. She had grown older, wiser, but part of her still longed for the thrill of that magical journey. Life had settled into its routine, and while she was grateful for the peace, Haru couldn't shake the feeling that her story with the cats wasn't over. One summer evening, as Haru wandered through the forest near her village, she noticed a strange path that had never been there before. The trail was lined with glowing flowers, and at the end of it sat a small, intricately carved statue of a cat. Curious, Haru approached the statue and saw a familiar figure perched next to it, the Baron, the dapper cat who had helped her escape the Cat Kingdom. "Haru," the Baron said with a warm smile, tipping his hat. "It's been a long time." Haru's heart leapt with excitement and surprise. "Baron, what are you doing here?" "There's a new adventure awaiting you, but this time it's not in the Cat Kingdom," the Baron said, his eyes gleaming with mystery. "It's in the heart of the jungle, a place where few humans ever venture. The jungle is calling, and it needs your help." Without hesitation, Haru agreed. Her curiosity was piqued, and she trusted the Baron completely. He led her deeper into the glowing path, and before she knew it, they were standing at the edge of the jungle. The dense foliage seemed to shift and move, as if it were alive and watching them. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth, and the sounds of exotic creatures filled the air. "The jungle is facing a great challenge," the Baron explained as they walked. "There is a balance that must be maintained, and lately, the harmony between the creatures has been disturbed. A mysterious force is causing tension, and the jungle is on the brink of chaos." Haru frowned. "What can I do to help?" "You have a gift, Haru," the Baron said. "Your compassion and understanding are what the jungle needs. But be warned, the jungle has its own way of testing those who enter. You must listen carefully, for not all is as it seems." As Haru and the Baron ventured deeper into the jungle, the environment grew denser and more mysterious. Vines twisted around massive trees, and strange plants glowed in the moonlight. It wasn't long before they encountered the first of the jungle's inhabitants, a troop of mischievous monkeys. They swung from the trees, chattering excitedly as they circled around Haru. "Who's this?" "A human in our jungle," one of the monkeys cackled. The Baron stepped forward. "This is Haru. She's here to help." The monkeys eyed her skeptically. "Help? What can she do? The jungle's problems are bigger than one human." Haru smiled kindly. "I may not know everything, but I'm willing to learn. Can you tell me what's been happening here?" The monkeys exchanged glances, then reluctantly explained. "There's been unrest among the animals. The once peaceful relationships between different species have become strained. The lions have been aggressive, the birds no longer sing, and the rivers are starting to dry up. Something is wrong, but we don't know what." Haru listened carefully, her heart heavy with concern. "Is there someone in the jungle who might know more?" "The Jungle King," one of the monkeys said, "but good luck finding him. He hasn't been seen in weeks." Determined to help, Haru thanked the monkeys and continued on with the Baron by her side. The deeper they went into the jungle, the more they saw the signs of the imbalance. Trees were withering, rivers were turning into trickling streams, and the once harmonious sounds of nature were disjointed and eerie. After days of journeying through the jungle, Haru and the Baron finally reached the heart of the jungle, the ancient tree where the Jungle King resided. The tree was enormous, its roots sprawling like a fortress, and its branches reached high into the sky. But instead of the vibrant energy Haru had expected, the tree looked sickly. Its leaves were dull, and its bark was cracked. At the base of the tree sat the Jungle King, a majestic lion with a golden mane that had lost its luster. He looked weary, his eyes filled with sadness. "Who dares enter my domain?" the Jungle King growled softly. Haru stepped forward. "I'm Haru. I've come to help restore balance to the jungle." The Jungle King studied her for a moment, then sighed. "I fear it may be too late. The jungle is dying, and I am powerless to stop it." "Why is this happening?" Haru asked, her voice gentle. "There is a force that seeks to control the jungle for its own gain," the Jungle King explained. "A dark cat spirit, once banished from the jungle, has returned. It is draining the life from the land, causing the animals to turn against each other." Haru's eyes widened. "A cat spirit? How can we stop it?" The Jungle King shook his head. "The spirit is too powerful. I've tried to reason with it, but it refuses to listen. It feeds on the fear and distrust among the animals. Haru thought for a moment. Maybe we don't need to fight the spirit. Maybe we can help it find peace. The Baron nodded in agreement. Spirits are often driven by unresolved pain. If we can understand its motives, we might be able to restore balance. With the Jungle King's guidance, Haru and the Baron set out to find the cat spirit. As they traveled, the jungle seemed to grow darker and the air became heavy with tension. Finally, they reached a clearing where a large, shadowy figure prowled, its eyes glowing with malice. The cat spirit was immense, its form shifting and swirling like smoke. It let out a low growl as Haru approached. "You shouldn't have come here, human," the spirit hissed. "This jungle belongs to me now." Haru took a deep breath, her heart pounding. "I don't want to fight you. I just want to understand why you're doing this." The spirit's eyes narrowed. "Understand? How could you possibly understand my pain? I was once the guardian of this jungle, but I was betrayed, cast out and forgotten. Now, I will take back what is mine." Haru's mind raced. Betrayed? By whom? "The Jungle King," the spirit spat. "He promised to protect me, but when the jungle faced its darkest hour, he abandoned me, left me to wither away in the shadows." Haru glanced at the Baron, who nodded in understanding. "Perhaps the Jungle King didn't mean to betray you. Maybe he thought you had left on your own." The spirit growled again, but there was a flicker of doubt in its eyes. "What if we could help you find peace?" Haru offered. "The jungle doesn't have to suffer. We can work together to restore what was lost." For a moment the spirit hesitated. Its form wavered, and the darkness around it seemed to lighten. With gentle words and a compassionate heart, Haru managed to convince the cat spirit to meet with the Jungle King. Together, they returned to the ancient tree, where the Jungle King waited. At first, the tension between the two was palpable. The spirit's anger and the king's guilt hung in the air like a heavy fog. But as Haru mediated between them, slowly, the truth of their shared pain began to emerge. The Jungle King had not abandoned the spirit out of malice, but out of fear of losing the jungle. The spirit, in turn, had felt abandoned and powerless. As they spoke, both realized that they had misunderstood each other. In a moment of vulnerability, the Jungle King bowed his head. "I'm sorry," he said softly. "I failed you." The spirit's form shifted, becoming smaller and more defined, and I allowed my anger to destroy what we both loved. Haru watched as the two former guardians of the jungle made amends. The jungle around them began to heal, as if the very land itself had been waiting for this moment of reconciliation. With the cat spirit and the Jungle King united once more, the jungle began to flourish. The rivers flowed freely again, the animals returned to their peaceful ways, and the trees regained their vibrant colors. As Haru prepared to leave, the Jungle King and the cat spirit approached her. "You have done something remarkable," the Jungle King said. "The jungle will never forget your kindness." The cat spirit, now peaceful and calm, nodded. "You reminded us of what it means,